morning. Pagan me and Burr in here. Coffee. Apothecary. I haven't showered because they're working on mine yet. You're going to have to deal with it. Because this morning, I want to talk about mermaids. I live in a town where every year in the aquarium here, they hire these very nice ladies and they swim around the aquarium and they look like mermaids and the kids come in, isn't it beautiful? And they tell them these stories that you're probably thinking about mermaids and pirates and sailors and the Caribbean, and isn't it lovely? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it? No, Brenda, it's not beautiful. Mermaids are terrifying, and this is not something that we should be teaching our children. They should just go up and tap on the glass if they see one. Okay? Not cool, Brenda. Not cool. Wow. This video got really mean to someone named Brenda for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, well, here's the thing. Mermaids aren't sweet and nice and cool, and you probably should not go up to one if you see one. I know that we have the same image in our mind of these lovely sailors meeting mermaids, singing songs on rocks and just hanging out. And it's true, we did in the lore get our stories about mermaids from sailors, but we have to think about what sailors did and where these stories came from. Because sailors, during certain times of the year, did go into the Caribbean and do some trading, pirates mostly, that they shouldn't have. And in the off season, a lot of them were whalers, which means that they were up north off the coast of Japan. They were off the coast of Newfoundland and stuff, at the rookeries, seals and such. And that is really where these stories came from, and how they got down into where we know about them now. And that's because up north they have a story of a sea goddess named Sedna. This story is super long. It's very, very interesting. I'm covered in tattoos for it. I'm gonna give you Cliff Notes version. So basically there is a lady, she's not the marrying kind, and she does get married, it goes south. She ends up in a roiling sea trying to be murdered by her husband. And there's some supernatural stuff going on here, and she ends up in the water and tries to get back into the boat with her father, who, to save himself, cuts off her fingers, and that doesn't work because she's determined, and then he cuts off her arms, and so on and so forth. This is a terrifying story for good reason. There is a beautiful part to it. Everywhere that a drop of her blood goes or a part of her body gets spilled off, it turns into one of the warm-blooded sea creatures. Whales, dolphins, narwhals, seals, walruses. I'm running out of warm-blooded creatures, obviously. But those would have fed the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, same island. So that's her, Sedna, half seal, sea lady, goddess. And in the earlier versions of these stories, that is where the story ends. Sedna becomes a sea person. All of the little narwhals are frolicking about her. The end. But as happens to most really strong female deities in lore, after this story is told and told and told, she becomes kind of demonized. We see this happen with almost all of our really powerful female gods. Lilith. Okay, sorry, I had a sneezing fit there. Until eventually she becomes sort of like a chthonic deity. She's a goddess of the underworld. She sinks to the bottom of the sea. She's demanding sacrifices. She's taking the souls of men. I mean, she's just dragging people to a watery grave. It's a pretty cool gig and all, but it's fucking terrifying. This is where these stories come from. Uh, well, in case you were wondering, now this resolves the issue of can men have sex with mermaids? And the answer is yes, because they're mammals, just like people. Should you have sex with a mermaid? Probably not, because she's going to drown you in a watery grave, uh, like some sort of crazed, selkie, half human thing. Teeth and wet hair and just we really should talk about selkies. Anyway, just don't go up to mermaids. That's my advice. And yes, I've ruined mermaids for you. I am not sorry. You should not be a fan of making friends with the merfolk. They're terrifying. Yeah, it's not all clamshell bras and singing songs now, is it? Mm-mm. Be wary. Be afraid. It's gonna get gory.